just got hit with a curveball no one saw coming, and the internet is going wild. Stephen A. Smith went on air and dropped a bombshell about Brittney Griner's alleged Russian DNA test, and the WNBA commissioner is not happy. This isn't about spreading wild rumors. We're breaking down exactly what Stephen A. said, the fan reactions exploding online, and why this could turn into one of the league's biggest PR nightmares ever. Brittney Griner has already been through massive headlines with her Russia arrest and release. But this shocking twist has fans asking even more questions the league clearly wasn't ready for. With the commissioner staying silent, the pressure is building fast, and Stephen A. just made it worse by casually bringing up Griner's name during a live ESPN segment about truth in sports, hinting that Russia might know something the public was never told.
I do think it's important to understand that there are millions of Americans who may not say anything, but do share his position. You were in the United States. You didn't want to stand for the national anthem. You wanted to protest some of the things that were going on in this country, which is obviously and totally your right. The flip side, however, is that there are an abundance of people, including many, because I know a few in the military who feel this way.
And just like that, the tone completely shifted. This wasn't some random Twitter troll or late-night Reddit thread. This was Stephen A. Smith, with millions of viewers, planting the idea on national TV. He didn't confirm it outright, but he didn't shut it down either, dropping it like bait for the entire sports world. Within minutes, clips of the segment flooded TikTok and X, with fans screaming, "Did he really just say that?" For the WNBA, this is the worst-case scenario. Because once someone like Stephen A. repeats a rumor, even one that's been debunked before, it suddenly feels brand new again. And that's when the focus shifted straight to one person, WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert. If you don't know, Cathy isn't just a figurehead, she's the league's very first commissioner, the one leading the charge for expansion, landing new sponsors, and trying to completely rebrand the WNBA. She's the business mind behind the league's push to be taken seriously, which is why this controversy couldn't have come at a worse time.
So rivalries are generally good for sports. In women's sports, sometimes it's complicated by the social media vitriol, which we denounce. It's terrible what some of these players have to endure. And so the hatred, the vitriol, the misogyny, the homophobia, the racism, there's no place for it in sport, and we like to be known in sport as a big uniter. So that's the negative part of that, but the positive certainly has been that people are watching. I mean, we brought tens of millions of new people into our sport last year.
But here's the thing, Cathy Engelbert's silence on this whole Brittney Griner mess is deafening. Not one statement. Not even a casual, "We're aware of the chatter." And when you stay quiet during a storm like this, it doesn't calm anyone down, it just convinces people you've got something to hide. Fans are already saying the silence feels like panic mode. Because if the commissioner can't shut down a rumor that's supposedly been debunked 100 times, what does that say about the league's image? And that's what makes this so wild. The WNBA is supposed to be in the middle of its biggest glow-up ever. Ratings shot up over 170% last season. The league just added its first new team since 2008, the Golden State Valkyries. And for once, the conversation wasn't about empty arenas or struggling franchises. It was about packed crowds, viral highlights, and new money pouring in. Sponsors were lining up, networks were all in, and for the first time ever, the hype around the WNBA felt real, which is exactly why this controversy couldn't have come at a worse moment.
They have her back now. This is her 8th game back as Asia Wilson cleans it up inside. First points to the Aces.
There's been a couple of checks back and forth between Morrow and Smith out here.
Oh, what a pass. Wilson baseline fader, pretty. Tina Charles doing all she could. Help D was coming over as well, but Asia Wilson, another.
But instead of fans celebrating the Valkyries' big debut or Asia Wilson chasing her 3rd MVP, what's trending online? Brittney Griner's voice, her body, and a conspiracy about a Russian DNA test with zero proof behind it. It feels like the league's biggest win is being completely overshadowed by its biggest scandal. And this is where the internet took things and ran with it. Because just as the WNBA was celebrating its opening week, a simple courtside clip of Brittney Griner started blowing up on TikTok and X. Nothing crazy even happened in the video. She was just talking to someone, but the mic picked up how deep her voice sounded. And that was all it took for the clip to go viral.
Okay, explain. So you saved someone from...
We were off-roading, and this family flipped their side-by-side. They tried to stop it from flipping, put their legs out, and shin bone came through on the guy, and then the girl broke her ankle and bone came through. Me and my friends would jump off, we flipped it back, help them out. I take my shirt off, wrap it around the girl's leg. It's like pulling out blood, and no one would help them. And like there was no cell reception, so we put them on our side-by-sides and we drove them out. And then we waited with them until the ambulances.
When was this?
This was like maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah.
Oh my God. And
crazy.
Are you're okay with blood and all the gory stuff?
Yeah.
You have to be.
Yeah, I am.
Oh my God.
With that, yeah.
Was that the last time you felt like a hero?
Yeah, I really felt like a hero in that moment.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a crazy story.
People who have followed Brittney for years already know this isn't new. She's always had that deep voice. She's talked about it publicly, and it's been part of her story since she was a teenager. But for casual viewers who don't keep up with her, the clip was shocking. It racked up millions of views in hours, and the comment section was brutal. Some were saying things like, "That's a dude. He gets to dunk on women all day and then change with them in the locker room. This has to end." Others went even further, using it as so-called proof to push the same conspiracy Stephen A. had just reignited. And of course, the trolls didn't stop there as soon as the voice clip went viral. They dug up the old shirtless pool footage that resurfaces every time her name trends. Fans rushed to defend her, trolls recycled the same tired narrative, and just like that, the conversation shifted back to her body instead of her game with Atlanta.
Swag you, Brittney. Let me see something real quick. Brick! Thank you! Get the out of here, yo! Jab stepping, it's the brick. Swing and a miss! Oh! Yo, I ain't gonna fake it right now.
And here's where it all ties back to Russia. Remember in 2022 when Brittney was arrested at the Moscow airport for vape cartridges, hit with a 9-year sentence, and suddenly the entire world was watching? That moment turned her into international news overnight. Then came the prisoner swap that brought her home, and the first clip of her walking free went everywhere.
What's your mood?
Happy?
Happy? Well, are you ready for long flight?
Yes.
Yes. Good.
Here's the part that always gets lost in the noise. Brittney has already spoken about this, long before Russia, long before Stephen A. ever brought it up. Back in 2015. She sat down with ESPN for a feature where she opened up about her voice and what it was like growing up with it. She shared how her voice had always been deeper than other girls her age, and how that made her hate the way she sounded. She said kids mocked her for being tall, for developing differently, and for sounding like a boy, and that wasn't some rumor. That was her reality. You could hear how much it hurt in her interviews, how deeply it stuck with her. She even admitted there were times she avoided speaking in certain settings just so she wouldn't have to hear the jokes.
You're 6'9" now. You said even in middle school you were towering over everybody, and that your voice started getting deeper, you weren't developing like the other girls, and that your parents took you to a doctor.
So they really wanted to make sure I didn't have a tumor on my pituitary gland. I don't know, at one point I was kind of like, can we stop? Because it doesn't feel the best, and I felt like a lab rat a little bit.
From middle school to today, Brittney writes she has been mistaken for being male, enduring endless teasing and taunts.
When you're born with a body like mine, a part of you dies every day. With every mean comment and lingering stare, you're the biggest person in the room, but you're also the loneliest. Not a lot of people understand what it is to walk in my shoes. Literally, they're big shoes to fill. But I just feel so isolated at times.
Was basketball a way that you felt seen? It was a home for you?
Yeah, no, it was definitely a home for me. I could be the way I was intended to be, and that's big and different.
Fast forward nearly a decade, and nothing has really changed for Brittney. In 2024, she released her memoir, Coming Home, where she opened up even more about what it felt like growing up in a body the world never let her simply exist in. She wrote about being mocked for her height, her chest, And yes, her voice, saying kids told her she sounded like a grown man before she even hit high school. And that's what makes this whole Stephen A situation so brutal. When he casually mentions a DNA test, he isn't just throwing shade at a random player, he's digging up the exact pain Brittney has been vocal about for years. And now, Cathy Engelbert has no room to hide. She's the face of the league, the one who's been hyping this as the WNBA's breakout season. Sponsors are lining up, ratings are soaring, ticket sales are breaking records. But instead of headlines about the Golden State Valkyries' debut or Caitlin Clark's historic numbers, the conversation is back to Brittney Griner's body and a rumor Stephen A just handed the internet. The question isn't if the league will respond, it's what happens if they don't. Because 2025 was supposed to be the year the WNBA finally leveled up. But if this storm keeps growing, the league's big moment could end up being remembered for the one controversy Cathy Engelbert prayed would never come back.